Hello there.
Can
We can't hear you.
you hear us?
Yes.
Okay,
Okay,
a
we hear
Oh,
whole
you.
okay,
lot
there we
better.
go.
Yeah.
So, just a little insight before we get started. We had this guest on a couple of weeks ago, and only person I could hear was Brandon. Uh, I've been following her on Instagram, and she seems to have a lot of knowledgeable information to share. So, uh, Crystal, no disrespect for you, but for personal reasons, I'm gonna have to cut my camera off. Uh, no, stop doing that. Speak. I got I got I got PTSD from the last time. No. So I don't want you to think I'm being disrespectful. There's a good reason behind that, but I'm here and I probably pop back in and have some questions for you. And I'm gonna let Brandon introduce you, give you a formal introduction, and again, welcome back.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me.
How you doing, Crystal? This is
Brandon.
uh, this is our third attempt, but we're gonna get this one right.
Yes.
I'm the amazing Crystal. She's a nationwide insurance agent. She's amazing at her job. Amazing advice she gives too on entrepreneurship, just life advice in general. So and financial advice as well. I'd like to welcome you to our podcast. Uh, Once again, Crystal. She's amazing. Uh, Thank you for coming on.
Thank you guys for having me. I really appreciate it. Time's a charm. I know we're going to get it down. We're going to have the best conversation and the best information on this time that we have together.
Because I was the only one to be able to hear this, but with you for the third time, talk about your Zulu Foundation and the dance.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, again, I wear two hats. I run Zulu Dance Foundation, which is kind of my creative side. That's my heart and my soul. Zulu Dance Foundation focuses, we're an after school program based off of keeping the arts in the schools. Our main focus is hip hop dance, and we ventured into the DJ program as well. So we have DJ programs in schools as well throughout the United States. We're about at 50 schools. And that's just that's a big one for me with my heart, just because dance was always my first passion since I was 3 years old. I'm Hawaiian, so you learn the hula right away. And then from there, I got interested in hip hop dance. And then from there, it's just with our school system, the arts is always the first to go, right? When budget cuts happen. And I firmly believe, as an advocate of the arts, keeping the arts in schools is going to help kids academically, right? So that's my first hat that I wear as Miss Crystal in Zulu Dance Foundation. And then that kind of branched into getting into like the financial world, because I noticed the communities that I serve, the families didn't know anything that I know now. They had no idea compound interest, just index accounts, way the banks work, and all of that. So I kind of took it upon myself about 5 years ago to get licensed, do my training, learn that all I can learn, to then now teach families in this realm and make sure that they're taken care of. So those are kind of the two. And Zulu dance, my heart; Zulu, the brain, I guess you could say.
I know for me that the reason me and Crystal did meet, I was looking into life insurance policies, and I just was thinking like more investments and what I can plan for the future, and that's why I was looking into IULs. And by I say a blessing because it was a great conversation we initially had about IULs and being able to have time on my side and being able to save up and have money saved up that I can use further down the line in my life. So I know Jeremy has questions about IULs, so I'll let him take over from here.
Yeah, so I actually want treat me like a new student because I have no idea like about, because actually I'm curious about IUS. I also want to get involved. That's one thing that I'm looking to get involved with. I started my investment portfolio, but I don't have any like life insurance policies, for my family, or so I'm looking to learn more about that. So for people who are like me who don't really know, can you just explain what the IULs is and like the difference between having them and what they. Can
Mhm.
you go further into that?
Yeah, so I'm very simple teacher, especially with dance or when it comes to, financial, especially the IUL. The way that I can basic, simple terms explain an IUL.
Hmm.
IUL is three in one. You're going to get life insurance, you're going to get savings, and you're going to get retirement in one account. Now, if we understand that foundation, then the next point I want to make sure my clients understand is it's cash value life insurance. It's a permanent life insurance. So a lot of the life insurances that we grew up with were term insurance, where you're paying like $20, $30. You're getting a big amount, but the con is it's going to expire. It's term. Think of it as paying rent. It will expire in 20, 30 years, whatever the contract is. IUL, again, permanent. Then we have to look at, well, what's the difference with how IULs grow versus in, let's say, your bank account? If we're looking at how am I going to get cash value? What do you mean by that? IUL stands for Index Universal Life. Most banks are growing at a fixed, right? Our money's not really growing, our money's not really losing. Banks are probably giving us a 0.0,
Hmm.
very not 1%.
Yeah, very minimal. Yeah.
Anything at the banks. And index growth is when stocks go up, your money goes up, but when stocks go down, you do not participate in the loss, you stay locked in your gains. Then we want to go into, okay, I'm I'm gaining money within the stocks. Why wouldn't I just go directly into the stock market? Not a bad idea, but understanding like a traditional 401k. That's what we grew up with. Get your 401k, get your 9 to 5, go get your 401k. But what I've learned, because many of my clients didn't understand this, when you're in the 401k, you're going up and down with the market, right? Stocks up, money up, stocks go down. You're going to lose your money. That's what happened in 2008 when a lot of individuals lost their homes and unfortunately lost a lot of their 401k retirements, as well as the stocks. Also, with 401ks, yes, you're not paying taxes now, right? Because when you put into 401ks, it's taxed later. You're putting a 500 a month, 600 a month. But in the future, that's when they're going to come get your taxes. And if stocks are doing amazing, you're gaining growth, you're putting in more, you're putting in the maximum. With a 401k, would you rather pay taxes on $500 or $500,000?
Yeah.
Neither.
That's
but but
You're probably
$500.
500 because the more that money grows and you haven't paid taxes yet, that's a bigger tax you are now going to have to pay. And that's what happens with 401ks. So what I tell individuals is IUL is going to be different from that. It's more of a tax advantage way of putting your money in. Why? Because it's labeled as life insurance. What you're putting into your money into your IUL has to be after tax money. So it's already been taxed. It goes into your IUL. Your IUL then can grow tax free because why? It's labeled as life insurance. So there's tax codes that you can utilize when you loan and borrow to yourself from your cash value building within your policy. You borrow and loan, so it's tax free. So that's going to be a better way to project what your retirement income is going to be versus a 401k. Do we think taxes are going to be lower or higher in the future?
Higher.
higher. It's gonna be
Yeah,
higher.
based off
Higher.
our experience, right? As young adults,
Hmm.
we've never seen it go lower. If it goes lower, oh my goodness, like, yay.
Blessings.
But that's probably not going to happen. So if you're diversifying, because I still have clients, they put into their 401k, they're getting matches. And I'm like, hey, get the match. I would recommend don't do anything above your match, get the free money. But also think about diversifying and having an IUL because that's your tax free growth plus growing in an index. So it's not going to participate in losses because your 401k, even though you get a match, God forbid the stocks do horrible. Your money,
Crash.
so IUL, it's mainly, again, get the life insurance. You always should protect your life. We're responsible for our life while we're alive, and we're responsible for when we pass. That's how I feel. I don't want my family to have to do GoFundMe's to pay for my funeral and all of that. We're responsible for that. So that's number one. Number two, I want the tax-free growth. I'm saving my retirement in a tax-free growth. I can project that better. Number three, and just having savings. Because like Brandon, when I was teaching Brandon, your cash value, let's say by next year is 50,000 of what you're putting in. And you want to purchase a house and the down payment is 20,000. You can borrow and loan from your life insurance policy